What if the greatest rise in human history ended in the most tragic fall ever recorded? What if the king chosen by God himself, a man blessed with wisdom beyond angels, wealth beyond empires, and glory feared by nations, became the author of his own destruction? This is not just the story of a king. It is the story of a man who touched heaven and then walked willingly into darkness. This is the rise and fall of the most powerful king in the Bible, before his name echoed across continents, before his throne was covered in gold, before his wisdom astounded the world. No one expected Solomon, son of David, to become the greatest king that ever lived. But greatness comes with a cost. He was chosen. He was elevated. He was favored beyond measure. Yet, in the shadows of glory, a silent danger grew. The same danger that destroys nations, families, and destinies. And it begins with a single truth. The higher God lifts you, the harder the fall when you turn away. Today, you will discover the unimaginable rise and the devastating fall of the man who had everything. Imagine being told that you have been handpicked by God, not because of your strength, not because of your power, but because of something inside you that no one else sees. That was Solomon, a young man, overwhelmed and unprepared, standing at his dying father's bedside. David, the giant killer, the shepherd king, places the weight of a nation on his shoulders and whispers, "Be strong and walk in the ways of God." In that moment, Solomon doesn't feel powerful. He feels small. He feels terrified. But heaven had already decided this boy would become the greatest king the world had ever known. And what happened next would shock the world. One night, while Solomon sleeps, something impossible happens. A light fills the room. A presence stronger than thunder surrounds him, and God himself speaks, "Ask for anything, and I will give it to you." Riches, power, victory, fame. Any king would have begged for them. But Solomon asks for something else. "Give me wisdom to lead your people." Heaven is stunned. And in that moment, God unleashes something no human had ever carried. Wisdom that shaped nations. Wisdom that unlocked empires. Wisdom that revealed the secrets of life itself. It was the beginning of his unstoppable rise. From the moment Solomon took the throne, the world changed. Justice flowed like rivers. Peace filled the land. Gold became as common as stones. Kings traveled across deserts for a single conversation with him. Queens crossed oceans just to hear his voice. And every time Solomon spoke, the earth fell silent. Israel entered its golden age, the brightest in its history, and all because of one man, a king whose mind seemed touched by the hand of God. But greatness attracts attention, and attention attracts danger. Solomon began his masterpiece, the first temple of Jerusalem, a structure so magnificent, so glorious, that even today archaeologists struggle to imagine its beauty. 7 years of construction, thousands of workers, walls covered with gold, cherubim carved with wings touching from one side to the other. And when the final stone was set, when the last door was hung, a cloud from heaven descended. The glory of God filled the temple so intensely that even the priests could not stand. Israel believed, "Surely God walks among us." What king could fall after witnessing something like that? But shadows were coming. Success is loud, but corruption whispers. It doesn't come as an earthquake. It comes as a quiet thought. You deserve more. And so it began. The king who once walked in humility started walking in pride. The man who once sought God above all began seeking power, alliances, and pleasure. He married women from every kingdom: Egypt, Moab, Ammon, Sidon, hundreds of them, then hundreds more. Each marriage brought political advantage, but each wife brought something else: a foreign god. Altars were built. Incense was burned. Sacrifices rose to heaven, not to the God of Israel, but to idols of stone. One altar became two, two became 10. 10 became a nation divided internally. The king who had once built a temple for God was building altars for demons. For the first time in his life, Solomon couldn't hear God. No dreams, no whispers, no presence. He stood in the palace he built, surrounded by gold, servants, music, and power, yet he felt empty. The man who touched heaven was now drowning in the weight of his own sin. The heavy silence haunted him. He wrote, "Everything is meaningless, a chasing after the wind." He had everything, except the one who gave it all. This was not a fall in a moment. This was a fall in the soul, slow, painful, destructive. When a king breaks, a kingdom breaks with him. Rebellions rose, enemies multiplied. Foreign nations sensed weakness and moved closer. For the first time, Israel felt fear. Prophets warned him, "If you do not return to God, the kingdom will be torn from you." Solomon ignored them, and the judgment struck like thunder. God raised adversaries against him, men he could not silence, armies he could not stop. The peace he once commanded vanished. The golden age began to fade. One night, a prophet approached a young man, Jeroboam, and tore his cloak into 12 pieces. "Take 10, he said. "God is giving you the kingdom that Solomon corrupted." In that moment, destiny shifted. The throne of Israel, the greatest monarchy in history, was being handed away. Why? Because the most powerful king in the Bible had allowed pride to become his master. Solomon tried to kill Jeroboam. He tried to outrun prophecy. But no man can fight the word of God. Solomon grew old, not with the honor of a faithful king, but with the regret of a man who watched his kingdom crumble. He sat alone, surrounded by idols he once defended, knowing they could never answer him. He wrote words that trembled with sorrow: "Fear God and keep his commandments, for everything else is emptiness." The laughter faded. The glory faded. The wisdom remained, but only as a reminder of what he had lost. Even the throne, once shining with gold, felt cold beneath him. The fall was complete. When Solomon died, the nation split, exactly as God foretold. 10 tribes broke away. Only Judah and Benjamin remained under his lineage. The greatest king in the Bible had built the greatest kingdom and destroyed it with his own hands. His rise was miraculous. His fall was catastrophic. But his life teaches the most important truth of all. A man can survive enemies, armies, and nations, but he cannot survive turning his heart away from God, no matter how high God lifts you. Pride can drag you down lower than you ever imagined. Solomon's story is not just history, it is a warning. To kings, to nations, to us. If this story moved you, imagine the power of the stories yet to come. Subscribe now, because the Bible is not old. It is alive, and every chapter hides a truth that can change your life. And so ends the tale of Solomon, the chosen king, the wise king, the powerful king, and the king who lost everything when he lost his way. May his rise inspire you, may his fall warn you, and may his story remind you The greatest victory is not power, but a heart that stays faithful to God.